Welcome back to Honda, and everything's where we left it, up in the air. Yeah. What we neglected to do was take the drum brakes out before we left it that way. But I rectified that situation. And here they are, on the bench, ready for inspection. As I said before, actually, there's still quite a reasonable amount of wear on these, honestly. At least when you compare it to the new ones, but the new ones do look kind of better. Modern technology in old technology, i.e. some breathing space to stop overheating. Other than that, there's still drum brakes, they're still crap. The whole concept of pushing something against an outer rim as opposed to discs, where you're clamping onto a inner thing, it's just bloody ludicrous. And who better to hear that from than a drummer? Drums are rubbish. But if we're keeping the back end somewhat stock-ish, then I shall proceed. So, now we've got it off, let's get on with it. God, I tell you, last time I probably did this was in 1981. Or actually before that, probably. Anyway, with my Yamaha Fizzy. So there seemed to be some split pins involved and some springs. So I think first step is obviously take these off, right? Well, as you can see, Mr. Simps has been reading up on how best to go about replacing the drum shoes, and I've been watching some videos as well. And there's numerous methods, all of which basically just involve a little bit of wiggling and jiggling and muscle. So let's see how we go about this. Tip number one from the manual was to actually operate the lever itself underneath that boy to such a degree that the flat edge is now facing out rather than facing the flat edges on that hinge. Matey boy online took the cock pins out before that, which is probably be a good idea. So this might ping back, we'll see. Pins out, this bit will lift off now, this bit here. And as you can see, that's still in the on position effectively, i.e. pushing the shoes onto the drum. That's why that spring is expanded, and this one a little bit. So yeah, this little bit will just lift off, kind of, eventually. Might need a bit of persuasion with a screwdriver, I guess. And those are now ready to lift out. But we're still going to get some resistance, so it's a question of just lifting from both sides, I think. Hence the gloves, because things might start pinging and... need a bigger screwdriver. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. So we're now clear of this, and those should just pull off. Just a question of gently easing it all round, I guess, and not losing our bearings. Spacers. Well, the other end wasn't so easy to get off, actually, probably just because it's, you know, grime and whatever, so I'm going to clean those up before we put these on. And all this is junk anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Cleaned those hinge post things with some 400 grit, just a a little abrasive and clean that up at the same time on the wheel because it was easier. So that's the general idea, except with the springs in place. And apparently everyone puts the springs on first. So let's do that. So the best angle of attack is to prise this one apart just enough to get that comfortably on those posts, you know, about halfway down. And then we'll deal with the other end so it all starts leveling up. And then just shove it down bit by bit, I suppose, same as it came off. So now tackling the other end, as you can see, what I've done is prise this apart enough to get that side over the edge of this, which I've returned to the effectively the off position. And now it's just going to take a bit of muscle to prise that apart enough to get this, the right hand side, over to the same point. Well, we got there. I'm not as tough as the guy that I watched because he literally just took both sides and pulled them apart with his bare hands. I might have been able to do that 20 years ago, but there you go. So I used this just to lever that enough and then slip it down. It's a little bit precarious, so I'm going to quickly get that in place. Seeing as it's under tension, it could get exciting very quickly. And for this, I'm just using our good friend, the slightly stunted Thor hammer. Only gentle persuasion, mind you, and there it is. Final step, 2 new cotter pins, split pins, of which I haven't got a big stock of actually, so these are a little bit long, but not a problem. All in all, a vast improvement on the old stuff. Yeah, nice. Nice, ready to put back on once we get the new tyre. Then we can put it back together again. So a whole episode on how to, which is most unusual for me because it's usually how not to. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Any more episodes in this series on the Honda CB750, as well as some other custom bikes and cars and race cars and lemons cars and rat rods and all kinds of stuff. And encourage others to watch my lunacy.